Howdy, pilgrims. Welcome back to The Pill. Here's a quick summary of what to expect in this week's dose.
First up, we'll talk about Eyebot, a startup that's building AI-powered kiosks that provide 90-second vision exams without the need for an on-site optometrist, and their recent $6 million funding round led by Ali Corp and Ubiquity Ventures.
Next, stick with us for a breakdown on Natural Cycles, hot off their $55 million Series C led by Loxera Capital Partners. This company provides women with FDA-cleared birth control through an innovative mobile app and a thermometer.
And last, we'll close out this week's dose with a deep dive on xAI, Elon Musk's new AI startup that plans to compete against OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, and all the other major players in the space. Fresh off a $6 billion Series B. That's right, $6 billion. That included Elon's friends from Silicon Valley to Saudi Arabia.
Wow, eye exams, femtech, and Elon back in the news. Quite a breakdown for this week, partner, so let's get on with it.
Can't wait.
You see here, kid? You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before. You just gotta bend your knees, take a deep breath, and jump.
This is Venture Pill, your weekly dose of startups and venture capital. We break down recent startups in the news and interview founders and investors to help you stay informed in the evolving world of venture. Leading off this week's dose, we have Eyebot, which just raised a $6 million funding round led by Ali Corp and Ubiquity Ventures with participation from Humba Ventures, Village Global, Bakunst, Ravelin, and Space Cadet. The startup creates AI-powered kiosks that provide 90-second vision exams without the need for an on-site optometrist. Now, to set the scene a little bit more for the problem that Eyebot is solving, over 50% of Americans wear corrective glasses or contact lenses.
Yeah, I can't say I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people who has 2015 vision. So
pretty good, pretty good.
It's a fun fact I like to tell people, and then they get mad at me. They're like, "You can't have better than 2020. That doesn't make sense." Yes, I can. I've been to the eye doctor once. One for one.
Only one time.
Yeah.
You gotta
maybe.
go back.
Well, now I have an opportunity to go because, well, actually there's a shortage of eye care practitioners. It can take several weeks, even longer in rural areas to get an appointment. And there's no shortage of low cost and luxury frames available online or in stores. Consumers can only buy them with current eyeglass prescriptions. Therein lies the problem, right? You can't see an eye doctor, you can't get your glasses or your contact lenses. And so Eyebot has a really cool solution to bring to the market here.
Yes, there in fact lies the problem, and that's exactly where Eyebot comes in. So again, the startup, which just recently emerged from stealth mode about a week ago, wants to reduce the time it takes to receive a vision exam to about 90 seconds, again, without the need for direct involvement of an optometrist. So starting in October, the Boston-based company will roll out its self-serve vision testing terminals in shopping centers, grocery stores, and pharmacies in New England.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anyone who wants their vision check can easily walk up to Eyebot's kiosk, basically press a button, and then the company's computer vision technology will automatically scan the person's eyes, extracting the eyeglass or contact lens prescription. Now, Eyebot-generated prescriptions are finalized by teledoctors within 24 hours, and then consumers who want to purchase glasses from any retailer must pay $30 for an exam. But, and here's the key, if they purchase glasses from one of Eyebot's partner brands, the vision exam is free. And that gets a little bit more into the interesting business model here. But we also know, everyone was wondering, wait a second, how are they doing this? How are they doing this eye scan from a kiosk? Well, the technology is registered with the FDA. So it is legitimate. This didn't come into my head, but I guess it came into yours. There's going to be no burning of your eyes or anything of the like.
Yeah, I think that's a valid concern. So reassuring that it's been registered with the FDA. Kind of visualize this like, some grocery stores already have somewhere where you can go and get your heart rate tested. Similar concept, but you touched on it there. And let's close out here with a little bit more on Eyebot's vision, for the future.
I see what you did there.
Oh, nice. So the company hopes that major eyeglass brands will rent Eyebot terminals and put them in the retail locations of their choice. Once a shopper finalizes their exam, they can choose to buy glasses from that brand directly on a touchscreen within the kiosk or by using their smartphone, keeping it as seamless as possible. And so Eyebot really plans to make money by partnering with these eyewear brands and taking a commission on each sale. Pretty interesting model that they're working on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the demand is strong in this market. We wanted to quote the CEO, Matthias Hoffman. He said, retailers are looking for new channels to reach the customers. Now they have an opportunity to show their brand in CVS, Walgreens, Stop and Shop, Kroger, and on college campuses, end quote. He also mentioned that Eyebot is close to finalizing partnership agreements with several large eyeglass and contact lens merchants as well. And so they're really planting a stake in the middle of this whole industry, making the connection, kind of turning it into a marketplace play. But really at the core of it is cool technology. A 90-second eye exam, that's awesome. I mean, think about the applications for more impact. When you talk about impact, helping people gain access to eye exams, I think there's big opportunity there to democratizing access. As much as we make fun of that term as a buzzword, it's really cool that you could potentially see this as it making a big difference in eye care across the world.
We are on a heater of a streak with using democratizing access in our episodes, but that is the beauty and nature of venture capital. So we're not going to stop saying it. And yeah, it's an interesting approach. It really feels like a win-win-win for everyone involved, right? For customers, you're getting your eye examined so exponentially quicker and probably cheaper. If you buy glasses through Eyebot, then the exam is free, which is great. And if you don't, then it's $30, which I imagine is still a fraction of the cost of going to go see an optometrist for true eye exam in person. Additionally, for Eyebot, they're obviously making money on the commission of glasses. And for these big eyeglass retailers, like they're getting exposure on college campuses and grocery stores, pharmacies, things like that. So a smart solution to a problem that, as we said at the start, affects more than a majority of the country, over 50%. So a smart approach to a big market, and excited to see where Eyebot goes from here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it as well. Everybody deserves to see clearly. You hear stories about. Again, we're probably not the two best people to be talking about this, but you hear stories about, wow, like I can see the letters on signs, and I can see the leaves on trees. Like everybody deserves to see that clearly, and and maybe they have access to it. They're just lazy. This makes it very easy. Not a very big excuse to not have glasses, or at least to check if you need them if you've got a kiosk there in your grocery store. So
exactly.
removing that barrier too, which is another key element. All right. Moving on to our second company of this week's dose, that is Natural Cycles, which just raised a $55 million Series C led by Loxera Capital Partners. The round also included participation from Point72, Samsung Ventures, and a few others. Natural Cycles is actually based out of Stockholm, Sweden. I think that might be our first Swedish company, which is cool. They provide women with a new and innovative way to take control of their fertility through an app paired with a thermometer.
Right. And so amongst other things, Natural Cycles provides an FDA-cleared form of birth control, which is 93% effective.
Yeah, and that's our second FDA approval here. We're 2 for 2 now. We'll see what Elon has with his AI later.
I don't know if I like his chances of being, an FDA approved AI platform, but still good start to the episode for sure. But yeah, so 93% effective, and that stacks up pretty well compared to other forms of birth control. We looked into a couple of other percentages and just the other options out there, and between both hormonal and non-hormonal solutions, obviously there's the pill, IUDs, condoms, and other forms. It's in a pretty similar or slightly better than average range.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot more to it than just percentage effectiveness. Obviously, that's important, but we know now a lot more about the effects and side effects of birth control, which has really become widely accepted as the normal thing to do for a young girl or a young woman, is get on the pill, right? I mean, it's called the pill for a reason. It's become so widespread, but there are a lot of health side effects, especially when it comes to hormonal health. And people are learning a lot more about that side of women's health these days. And it's companies like these that are making a push for other alternatives that can be both effective and healthy for women.
Right. And this is a potentially more accessible option compared to some of the others out there as well. So another startup that's democratizing access and FDA registered. We're 2 for 2 so far. Yeah. Love that. And so let's get a little bit more into the product here with Natural Cycles. How does their solution work? Essentially, they send the user a thermometer to take their temperature every day, the moment you wake up, and they use that data to extremely accurately track the cycle specific to that individual. And so essentially during ovulation, hormones cause a spike in body temperature, which is why the thermometer is a good indicator for where you may be in your cycle.
Right. And the app then really gets to know the user's cycle over time using a complex algorithm and gives that user a very detailed analysis of their cycle. It even gets better over time as it learns the intricacies of the changes in temperature and what that means. Some of the analysis you can gain from the app there is essentially telling the woman what their green days are, aka when they cannot get pregnant. And then also on the flip side, when their red days are, or when they are the most fertile. So really giving them a glimpse into where they're at in their cycle and what that means in terms of implications for whatever the user's goal is, which is not always just birth control.
Right, which leads us to mention that the app is also used in different ways for different goals a woman may have, including planning pregnancy, getting pregnant more quickly or efficiently, tracking that pregnancy, and also recovering from childbirth.
And so overall, this is our very first femtech company we have covered. And if you don't know that, that's just basically a technology for women's health, I would say broadly. It's probably overdue. We've covered dozens, hundreds of companies. This is a really solid example of innovation for women's health in tech with the use of technology. We saw it likened to the Whoop or the Aura Ring of femtech, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Again, we're probably not the best people to speak about this cycle tracking app, but we thought it was interesting enough and innovative to mention here on The Pill. We love, covering a wide variety. So this was a cool one to mention.
Yeah, totally. It's refreshing to have a new kind of company that we can cover, and we love to learn, of course, and women's health is paramount to society. So it's cool to dive in a little deeper here and get to learn a little bit more about what Natural Cycles is working on. And I like that comparison to Whoop or Oura Ring or even Apple Watch, right? It's not exactly a wearable. You just take your temperature once a day, every day, but similarly, leveraging data and technology to be able to more accurately track what's going on in your body and just have some more data to help drive decisions.
Yeah, and I think just bringing it back to why they named the company what they named it, Natural Cycles. This is a natural way. It's not invasive. You're not messing with any hormones or causing any side effects. You're simply taking your temperature, you're gathering data on your body, and you're using that data to inform your decisions, and therefore you're living a much healthier, more natural life. And I think everybody can get behind that mission. I think it's really well done, really well thought out.
Yeah, completely agreed. And just as a final note on this segment for Natural Cycles, This round of funding will be used to fuel the company's growth to a point at which it makes sense to go public. So they are eventually looking for an IPO. They're already profitable. And so now their focus will be on streamlining healthcare reimbursement, being able to use insurance to cover the cost of natural cycles, as well as continuing to develop new products and, help women stay in touch with their health, even outside of things like pregnancy and childbirth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So an awesome company, been around since 2013, based out of Sweden. For many reasons, this is a unique one.
Okay, and for our third and final story on this week's dose, we have xAI, Elon Musk's artificial intelligence startup that recently raised a $6 billion Series B.
Wow.
Valuing the company at $24 billion. Now, this headline sent some shockwaves across the venture capital community for sure. So this massive round included participation from prominent investors, really a who's who of firms like Valor Equity Partners, Andreessen Horowitz, Sequoia, Fidelity Management and Research Company, Vi Capital, as well as Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, who is a member of the ruling royal family of Saudi Arabia and was deemed the Arabian Warren Buffett per Time magazine, and Kingdom Holding Company, which is the prince's investment firm, amongst others, right? It's a massive round, so there were a lot of players that got involved here. And so this funding round represents one of the largest deals in the AI industry history, and we've covered a bunch of them here on The Pill. And this is officially Elon Musk's entry into the AI space as he looks to compete aggressively with rivals including OpenAI, Microsoft, Alphabet, Anthropic, and several others that are in the space.
Yeah, I mean, this is incredible. 6 billion, that's 1,000 times larger than what we covered in our first company, Eyebot, which, no disrespect to what they're doing. This is just at a whole different stratosphere, orders of magnitude different. This is one of the biggest rounds in venture capital history, not just AI industry history. This is massive.
And venture pill history, right? I remember for our 100th episode, our biggest round at the time was $1 billion. That was Terawatt, the EV charging infrastructure play. This is 6 times that, $6 billion. Again, that is hard to even absorb and comprehend how much money that is. Probably enough to circle the Earth's circumference 3 times over in $1 bills.
Stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Not vertically.
Yeah. But truly incredible.
Yeah, seriously. And so a little more context on the history here, specifically with Elon. Obviously one of the highest profile entrepreneurs out there and in the AI space. He was the co-founder of OpenAI back in the day, a startup in which he has actually invested tens of millions of dollars and is widely known for the creation of ChatGPT, sort of pioneering and leading the charge in the recent AI wave, valued at $80 billion. Oh, by the way. And they've received recently of note $14 billion in investment from Microsoft at the end of last year. So a lot's been going on with OpenAI. If you haven't heard about them from anywhere, much less us, then I don't know where you've been.
Yeah, might need to reconsider where you might get your news from. But yeah, that $14 billion investment in OpenAI from Microsoft is also insane. And like we mentioned, just to take a quick sidebar here, all of the rounds that we've covered that have been super mega rounds within AI, yes, it's just a hot space and lots of eyeballs and wallets are following in that direction, but also just the nature of the investment, right? The compute power required and the infrastructure that comes along with that explains why you need to invest in the billions for the most part, or hundreds of millions. We've covered a bunch of rounds in that range, just to really get cracking in the AI space. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, let's dive a little deeper into Musk's history with OpenAI, which has been pretty in the news as well, has been declining, to put it lightly, in recent years. So he was there from the beginning. He was a co-founder, one of the earliest investors in the AI space. But in 2018, he departed from OpenAI after a dispute over control and the company's strategic direction. More recently, and pretty notable in the news, in March, he sued OpenAI and its co-founder, Sam Altman, for allegedly betraying its mission statement by pursuing profits instead of developing AI that benefits humanity. And so essentially, Elon thinks that ChatGPT became a closed source de facto subsidiary of Microsoft, and again, more focused on profits than actually helping the average person. And also, for good measure, just another note here on Elon's battle with the AI space, he also accused Google of coding bias into its AI products. So he is in a bitter rivalry with some of these major players.
Yeah, and say or think what you may about Elon, but I kind of respect his efforts to support ethics in this AI race, this AI space race, for lack of a better way of putting it, right? And so I'd like to think what he's doing here with xAI is to combat what he's seeing is going potentially very, very wrong for the development of AI and how bias is included and how it's being used and the incentives involved. People have varying opinions about Elon, but I think he's on the right side of things when we look back on this in history.
Yeah, and I'd say I totally agree. But to play devil's advocate for a second, and this was things I learned while we were digging deeper into xAI and Elon's rivalry with OpenAI. But essentially, OpenAI's rebuttal to the whole lawsuit was that they're not really trying to turn it into a profit puppy per se. It's just the costs associated with building that model and keeping it up to date, maintaining it is so expensive that they kind of need the money from investors or from users as well.
Yeah.
Just to keep the lights on. So I think maybe to think from their perspective, it might have been more of a like, hey, it's either we raise money some way or another, or we let this die. And they had obviously invested so many millions, billions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of hours of time into it. So I think that might have been kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, that difference in opinion there. And also to build on that argument, and again, I agree with you. I love Elon Musk. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. His alternative, his rival to ChatGPT is Grok, and it's only available to X Premium users. And so while people aren't directly paying per se to use Grok, they're still paying, I think it's $16 a month was the latest figure I saw, just to have X Premium. And that, a benefit of that is that comes with access to xAI and Grok and everything he's been building in the AI space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't disagree with the rebuttal there, and I appreciate the devil's advocacy that you have provided.
Someone's got to advocate.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, this is venture. This is in a capitalist world. Like, there's going to be profits involved. I think another element to that, I know we're delaying the breakdown on xAI here, but another element to that I saw Sam Altman say was that they're raising so much money. The pitch to investors is essentially like, as we build this out, we learn the model learns more and more over time. It will eventually come up with something that will be able to recoup the investment and more for the investors. Yeah, this is a whole Wild West with huge players involved. I, again, don't envy the people that are trying to think through how to regulate this, as it's growing so quickly and we have no idea what it's going to look like a year from now, much further down the line than that. So,
yeah, as a note of what you said there, OpenAI's valuation is $80 billion, right? So anyone who's an investor, even if they've poured in billions of dollars, is probably thrilled with their current position. And it does feel like they're looking to IPO in the coming years. Maybe now might not be the best time in the market, but just given the size and stature of the people behind it, feels like a company that will go public. I think Elon's gripe might just be that it's like become a Microsoft profit puppy. And, maybe he wishes that they didn't get so closely attached at the hip to Microsoft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, definitely. And hence why he's doing it himself and getting to do it his way, which we know he likes to do whatever he wants. He has the money to do it. So, and I think he has good reasons for it. But a little bit more on xAI, and this is per the blog post that we have linked. The startup has made significant strides over the past year. So they only announced the start of the company less than a year ago, last July. They released Grok 1 on X in November, and recently announced improvements with Grok 1.5, which has long context capability. and most recently Grok 1.5V, which has image understanding, and xAI's model capabilities have improved rapidly.
Yeah, so they're moving quickly, which is definitely, I'd say, right on par for Elon Musk and how he likes to do things, right? Move quick and break things. And then notably, another part of the product here, there was actually a recent open source release of Grok 01. And so with that, xAI has opened doors for advancements in various applications, optimizations, and extensions of the model. And I can't believe in that whole discourse about Elon Musk, we didn't mention this, but his gripe with ChatGPT is that it's closed source. And so by open sourcing it, it's available to the masses. And again, maybe it plays into his vision of something that truly benefits humanity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was called Open AI for a reason.
Right.
I think he's got a point there.
Definitely valid. And so, yeah, xAI is primarily focused on the development of advanced AI systems that are truthful, competent, and maximally beneficial for all of humanity. And the company's mission is to understand the true nature of the universe, which is one of the most vague but incredible mission statements I can remember in recent history.
Yeah, that's one of the top mission statements we've covered, in addition to the largest round.
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah, and so a little bit more moving forward. The plan here is xAI will continue on this steep trajectory of progress over the coming months, with multiple exciting tech updates to come and products to soon be announced. Again, talking about the speed at which this technology develops, it's insane. It's unparalleled, and we know that Elon's going to be leading the charge with this team, instilling his work style, which we've all come to know. If you're at all apprised to tech and what he's implemented at Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, Neuralink, is this culture of greatness and hardworking and efficiency. No BS. I'm sure it will be applied to this, and you can't bet against this guy and what he builds.
Yeah, I'm just like visualizing his desk that he gets to in the morning after probably sleeping 3 feet away from it in his office. But he gets to his desk and he just has like 5 folders: Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, Neuralink, and now xAI. And it's just like the way he manages his time and his day is just insane to even think about. But yeah, he's an icon and one of the greatest thinkers of this generation. Definitely polarizing. Not everyone loves him, but you can't deny all of the technological updates that he's brought to fruition in his lifetime. And so lastly, more specifically, the funds from the round will be used to take xAI's first products to market, build advanced infrastructure, and accelerate the research and development of future technologies to firmly establish itself as a major player in the AI field. And the company is likely to look for partnerships to introduce Grok to users beyond X. As we mentioned, right now, the only people that have access to it are people who use X. And I think it's premium users, which there certainly are plenty of, but can imagine he would hope to broaden that potential market over time.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be fighting an uphill battle. It was just today, as we're recording this, that Apple announced their partnership with OpenAI to include ChatGPT in Apple products, which is huge, integrated with Siri. Like, it is competitive out there. Obviously you don't want to bet against Elon, but gosh, this is hard to build a brand in the space where you feel like OpenAI is off to a big lead. You got the other players you mentioned making way, like Google, obviously huge. It is competitive, so it may come down to things like branding. I don't know if utility alone is going to win this battle. Distribution, obviously, with X, but beyond that, I don't know what the strategy is there. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, that touches on some of the skepticism I saw while just digging deeper on this. Definitely people think that he joined the race a little late, right? Like OpenAI has a significant time advantage, and Google has had Gemini out for a while, and other companies have been doing this since, a little earlier in the 2020s. But again, hard to bet against Elon Musk, and they're they're seemingly rapidly improving their model. And yeah, I mean, this is exciting though, man. We're seeing like the true titans of tech go to war. Like this feels like a sports championship or like a civil war of tech going on or something. It's there's a lot of drama that I'm looking forward to staying up on. This is my like tabloid magazine, is seeing what comes of this dispute.
The movies or movie that will be made about the AI race will be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we thought about not covering this just because, there's a limited information, but this is just, too significant not to talk about. So
exactly,
we certainly try to mix it up, obviously, with the other two companies we had today, balancing it out. But this is a big time announcement, and we'll certainly be covering their portfolio update should it come very soon.
Yeah, I think we have the Boring Company already on the venture portfolio in the table there. And so, yeah, I think the more Elon Musk-led companies we can get onto the portfolio, the better we're setting it up for continued success.
Yeah, to return to the pilgrims, return to our, our limited pilgrims, LPs.
Wow. That's amazing.
Or the general pilgrims. Oh man, that took 123 episodes, but hey, that's why we keep going.
Yep, better late than never.
Better late than never, partner. All right, another good dose in the books here this week. Appreciate all the pilgrims tuning in and listening, and we will catch you guys all next week.
You know where to find us. Y'all take care till next time.
Thanks for listening. Join us next week for another dose of startups and venture capital. And as always, we appreciate our pilgrims spreading the word about the show. Share with your friends and help someone else make the pilgrimage. See you next time.
She told me that she only bumps my music when she's lonely. Thinks my vibe's a little low-key, okie dokie, that's alright, but